Well, welcome back to Jumping Park Farm. Well, we left you, we were frantically planting the spring sown crops, and we got there. Loving that. And it's time to do spring school visits now, so we're getting down and dirty and using the farm as a tool to explain everything from maths and mental health, self-help and art and science, not to mention finding out where our food comes from. Okay, so we think Sammy is 2 metres tall. With the main body of the spring planting done, Rufus is planting his oat trials to test what we're going to grow for White's porridge oats next year. And in what seems like no time, the spring crops are up and away. So it's time to weed them. And the fine dry weather means we can get on with the hoeing. Recalibrating the same machine we use to plant the seed, it turns into a camera-guided weeder. Mechanically removing weeds from between the rows. First the winter crops, then the spring sown crops, and then the wheat and beans which are being grown together as a bycrop. And our friend Joe moves on to pastures new after our big sheep sort out. And welcome Emily. She's quickly onto the lambing. The majority of our ewes lamb alone, unassisted, outside. Some get a bit muddled up, but they tend to reunite themselves. And some need a little bit of help. So what are you doing there?
Just trying to get
her milk going?
Yeah.
So when were these born?
First thing this morning. I just pulled these out.
They're ready to suckle, they're on your finger already. Alright, Mama.
They've just been difficult on her, but I can get them to suck on the spot.
Normally, if there's a mummy ewe with too much milk, we can match them up with an orphan who needs some milk. That one is wearing the skin of a small one that sadly didn't survive, in the hope that the mum is tricked into thinking it's hers and will be happy to feed it. It works pretty well, and they're soon back out in the field. And Aspect Forestry have returned to pick up the coppiced that they cut in the winter, now the ground's a bit drier. We'll dry this out on site for a year before chipping it and then using it in our wood chip boilers. And the coppiced hedges are already beginning to reshoot. The key is to keep the deer away from grazing the new shoots while the tree stumps get going again. They are beautiful animals, but they do a huge amount of damage to trees and hedges, and they have no predator apart from us. I can see you. But the crops are growing magnificently in this hot spring. Right, what's happening here, John?
So I'm looking at our heritage wheat, which is just a joy because it grows so tall. But we haven't had rain here for quite a while. It's getting a bit dry. It's got some good roots down, but if you see, the leaves are just starting to roll a little bit. So it's sort of trying to protect itself from the sun. I mean, it's only just beginning to, so you know, it's not a real problem, but we do need some rain. We've had these amazing conditions, the best spring we've had since 2020 actually, for getting things done. But it'd be great to get some rain.
And to much excitement, at last the rain comes.
I know. I'm sorry.
Go on.
Oh. I mean, 6.4. 6.5.
Better than nothing.
That's pretty good.
And the sheep continue to grow, but we do have some orphan lambs left over. But Rufus and I can't help playing with them. And our visitors have been enjoying helping us feed them. And eventually it's time for them to go out into their very own paddock. In politically uncertain times, the airfield on the farm is a good training place. Once a year, we remember those who died flying from here.
When the lights come on again, all over the world.
And as land use continues to evolve, we rent out the old wartime buildings in an attempt to build resilience to our farmed income. On a more jolly note, in the quieter months, our treasured butchers and exacting chefs from the Suffolk Hotel in Aldeburgh make a trip across the county to see how the meat they cook is reared. We have visitors from Germany to Australia. We go to Northern Ireland to see where our porridge oats are processed. More on that later. John loves trading information with other farmers, so he went and gave a talk to the wonderful Canterbury Farmers Club.
So this is me. I like to show my children this picture because I had a full head of hair.
Back home, we're looking ahead to harvest. Grain stores need to be emptied, ready for the next crop. We've got the last of the crop cleaning. The boys get their tractor training. And in May is showtime in Suffolk. And we have some splendid events on the farm. Dawn chorus bird walks. A private talk about the life of Suffolk's hero, Ronald Blythe. Writing workshops. A wild feast with nettle soup in the woods, roasted venison and edible table decorations. It was so successful, we've got some really great plans for the autumn. Watch this space. The last thing to plant is the wildflower mixtures. And all the time the grass and the weeds keep growing. Machine in our organic armoury against weeds. It's a weed cutter that cuts the weeds above the height of the crop. And it's time to make the haylage for our sheep to eat in the winter.
my name is Sam Duchesne, a local farmer and contractor, and we're back today baling up the winter forage for their sheep. So we've got a nice clover grass lay that we cut 3 days ago. It was really nice. It's a good crop considering how dry the spring's been, which is everyone's worry this year. There's just not the grass about. But this has looked really good and is yielding well. The bale count so far, which is at 243 bales. Haylage is a sort of mediocre between silage and hay, where silage is basically fresh grass cut, baled and wrapped straight away to ferment, but it's a lot stronger and can only really be fed to old animals with a stronger stomach. It's basically too rich. And whereas hay's grass has been tedded out until it's completely dry, usually takes 5 to 7 days to get it to dry, and then it hasn't really got a huge amount of nutritional value, whereas the clover in this lay will be really good for the sheep, and if you can wrap it up while it's still got its leaf, then it should make some really good haylage and some great feed for the winter.
So Emily's gathered all the sheep in today. Everything's been shorn because it's been so hot. The lambs, some are small, some are big. All are really enjoying this grass and clover. And today's the day to have their health check. So we've got the vet here who's going to spend some time looking at them, checking any worms, checking any bloods if things aren't looking well, just giving them a gentle once over for the whole flock so that we go into the fattening process and then ultimately the next lambing process well. As soon as this is finished, Emily hotfoots it to the Norfolk show to show people how sheepdogs get trained. And it's prom time for Archie, John's nephew, who's been working on the farm already for some years. So why go to a prom in a limousine when you can go in a tractor? And the summer school trips keep coming, enjoying our new Shimpling Park Farm booklets and getting hands-on with the addition of Dom the baker from Biddle's Bread, now firmly established on the farm. He makes the ultimate link from that tiny wheat seed to something delicious. They also do some mindfulness, self-help tricks as well in the sunshine. With this exceptionally hot year, the estimation is that all crops are about 2 weeks ahead. So pretty soon we'll be revving that combine. The boys have already spent a day putting their plans in place for harvest and are already ahead for the autumn cropping. We will be ready for harvest 25. Fingers crossed. See you on the other side. Thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next time.